Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Britt. This is my channel, Brittwriterly. It's a book and author tube where I talk about the intersections of literature and culture. Did you like how I said literature, like I'm English or something? Anyway, um, so if you've never been to my channel before, welcome. We're silly over here, me being the main silly person and singer. My voice is feeling so much better, so y'all may get some Disney tunes today. I don't see how I could fit it in, but how do I ever? It just comes to me, and I respond in kind. So if you're new here, make sure to smash that like button and hydrate, as our general manager, Pat, will tell you if you're here for long enough. We do these every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I am usually joined by my lovely co host, who I will let introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shay. My channel is Shay with the Hobbies. I'm in avatar mode because I'm not fully appropriate for people to see me and stuff. Gotta look like a human, So once I do that, camera will be on, I think. But I be writing, I be reading, I be creating. If that's something you can get interested in. Oh, and I be skating. It rhymes.
Newly,
I do be
newly found
skating,
hobby.
and I'm getting so much better, y'all. I skated for an hour yesterday and did not fall once. I'm proud. I'm proud.
What?
I didn't fall not one time. I was even trying to jig a little bit and dance a little
Uh-oh.
bit to the little something.
Uh-oh.
Every time I did, I started to wobble, so I stopped real quickly. I started real quickly. I was like, okay, that's enough for the day. You done got better at your turns and stuff.
You
But
know.
I'm gonna keep practicing. I'm enjoying it. I just wish we had a skate rink because it'd be hot. It'd be
Mm,
real hot out here.
yeah. I ran on Wednesday, like on purpose. And
It's the on purpose for me.
like I
This
said,
is
I think
almost
I'm a
as good as the dew on the grass last week. I ain't gonna hold you.
listen. I did a little, and she did it for 10 minutes, y'all. 10 minutos. 10 minutos. Your girl was doing a little jogging. I couldn't believe that I was upright afterwards. It was. I said, God, you are my God. And you got me out here acting like I'm really fit. Now, was I going to run for like 15 minutes? I don't know that we're there yet. I didn't try. But 10 minutes, I used to not be able to run at all. And now here I am moving my feet one in front of the other quickly and pumping my arms. And they call that running. I can believe it.
It's the moving my legs in front of the other quickly as a description.
Just go with it.
They brought clips over to YouTube, didn't they? Because I want to clip this and last week because that was funny.
I just so today, this is a week where we have been surprising ourselves. So we're gonna end with a bang. We're gonna get some reading done. So let's greet the chat because y'all are talking and I love it. Okay. Hello,
Oh, I got the dark
Felicia.
place.
Huh?
I got the dark place.
You did. I mean,
Yeah,
I
my
haven't.
pre-order came in. I did the pre-order campaign, so I got the signed copy. She put my first and middle name in there,
Oh
and
my goodness.
I got little bookmark and stuff. I shot the
Oh
I
my
shot
gosh, and
the
it came
marketing
out,
yesterday.
right?
Yeah, it came out Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I got it. I got it. So I'm gonna be reading it.
Oh, child. Yeah, I need to read it and review it and all the things, but
Because we're talking about it at the end of the month, people. Reminder.
correct,
Writerly conversations. We're gonna be
correct.
talking about the dark place and family lore. So if you want to get in on the conversation, get in on the reading.
Oh, when is is the audiobook out now? Because I was trying to do the ebook because I got an arc for
I
being on
already I requested it, but I don't know when my library's gonna get it.
because we all know I really do try. I really do try to be reading these arcs because I appreciate having access. But one, my life just wasn't set up for early access this summer anyway, so that was a moot point. And also, I feel like I'm all the dark place. I feel like I'm all, what's the word? Non-audio book read out. I don't know how else to do it. I can't do it no more. But I do have a credit
Okay, I
on
ain't gonna
Audible.
hold you. This one of my favorite influencers from like college days. Like I knew from college, and she's like become a pretty decent influencer, like Instagram, YouTube, or whatever.
Mm.
She got a treadmill. Now, mind you, I don't got the money to buy a treadmill, right? But she was reading her book and walking on the treadmill, and I was like, "Yo, I'm the
I'm
queen
not,
of I can't read if I can't multitask. But if I had a treadmill and could get my steps in air conditioning and read
no,
a book at the same time, I totally would. I
I
totally
wouldn't
would.
because I don't get motion sickness. But I did almost fall off the treadmill in college while reading and talking to my mom. Or maybe I was just talking to my mom. Either way, she almost witnessed me fall off the treadmill, audibly. And she was like, "Ooh, let me talk to you later." So no, it's an immediate no. I love multitasking while reading, but I can't audiobook. I can't be, I can't. So I have a credit on Audible. I don't see it on Scribd. I don't see it on um anything else. So I'm gonna listen to it on Audible if on Audible is where it is. If there's a audiobook.
You said it's not on script.
It's not, and I don't see it on Audible either.
I hope they didn't do the not doing an audiobook thing. I really hope they didn't do that.
Hold on. It's, yeah, because the Undead Truth of Us is coming up. So I'm like, okay, so I'm not tripping. Yeah, there must not be an audiobook because Audible would have it. And it's not on here. What? I'm sick. I am unwell. Grinds my gears. Okay, now that's only greeting one person. Hi, Felicia.
I feel
Um,
it should.
Felicia.
Yeah, I only know because yeah, and I ingrained it in
I
my
remember
head.
you asking her that.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, Vina.
Mm.
Samantha Marie. If you're looking for a black editor, check her out on Instagram. SM Ryan the writer. Is that what the Instagram is?
Mhm.
Boom. Look at me knowing stuff about y'all now. Hey T. You like her? Thank you. This is Shelby. She's glorious. Out of the box, glorious. I'm telling y'all, gorgeous, gorgeous hair. You gotta check them out. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Good morning, Lizelle.
Good morning.
On purpose, T. I kid you not. And it was really simply a notion, a passing notion. And I was sure that I wasn't going to be able to do it. So when I kept being able to do it for 30 seconds and then 60, I was like, I'm lying. The truth is, at 15 seconds, I was fully expecting to have to stop. And then at 30, I was like, how long can this go on? And lo and behold, 10 minutes later, a stiff breeze could have knocked me over. Mm-mm-mm. Anyway, finally finished uploading my vlog. It will be up on Monday. What you reading, Pat? Yeah, I'm just growing as a human. I'm
See,
just,
that's what I said, Pat. It's different. Different. She's just making all around new choices. Who is this woman? I think it's because she's about to go into a new birthday year. Like it's her birthday month. It's
am I?
shifted. So I think it's like, is it not your birthday month?
It is. It is. It's August. Whatever judgmental face you're making at the camera, you might as well just hunt away.
Hey, could you hear it? Could you hear it? Could you
It
hear
was
it?
very loud.
She was like, "Am I?" Not I remembering it's your birthday month before you did. That's
No,
crazy.
I know that. I remembered that. I just, I was listening to each word as you were saying it, and then the meaning became clear as a sentence, and then I was just expressing understanding in the
Got you.
moment.
I appreciate that. Okay, take your time.
Anyway, yeah. First the three sisters, and now like me as a sister running. Who is this
Crazy.
girl? Who is this girl? Do we know her? I don't know, but we like her. Anyway, put the title in the chat, please. Oh, okay. Put the car in park. I never know where I get that from. The Middle Daughter by Chika Unigwe.
Okay.
You better find the ebook or physical book for Family Lore, though. Audiobook alone will have you kind of lost with all the POVs. Oh.
Oh, got you.
Is it because they only have one narrator and they sound the same? Because
I
that
feel
be
like Elizabeth would
unfortunate.
never do that. I'd be
Did she
surprised.
do the audiobook for all of her books?
Yeah, but even in the one from before, there was a second narrator when there was a second POV.
Mm, yeah. Well, we'll see. Now I'm
But she
curious.
did she did narrate. I don't know if she narrated all of them. I know she narrated part of it because she posted about it.
Oh, okay. Oh, a Family Lore.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm interested to see what the difficulty with the POVs is. Um, Challenge accepted. Okay. So T is trying to get into the Chain Gang All Stars. What's that?
Okay.
Um, listen, that's enough of that.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
there. It was definitely there.
moving right along. We're gonna get into our first sprint. We're gonna get right into because the last week we went an hour without sprinting. We are not gonna do that this week. We're gonna get some reading in.
But last week we had to like catch up. We hadn't seen each other
We
in a while.
did. We
That's
did. We had to
we could
give the morning report, give you the long and the short, every and snort, not a tale I distort from the morning report.
doing this last week. That she was sad she couldn't do it last week. Can y'all tell?
I have to get it in now.
Can y'all tell?
Hydrate. I'm not at the DMV. Mm-mm-mm. We're all here for you, Felicia. We are all here for you. The narration
Oh,
sounds similar, and so did the women in the book at first. Interesting.
got you.
Got it. Okay. Shay, what are you reading?
Well, I want to start the Dark Place, but the truth is, I probably shouldn't start it till Sunday because everything else. So I'm probably gonna pick up Literary Lady. Asked me to read this book because she wanted to get somebody's thoughts on it, and so
Okay.
I got 7 days before it goes back. It's called "We Love You, Charlie Freeman." So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm gonna start that.
Okay. Oh, and it's not linear timelines. Yeah, that's a lot to juggle via audio for sure. I feel like the more complex your book is, as far as like the more complexities going on in it, the more important it is to have like a full production, like with different people for each cast member,
Yeah,
some audio sound bites if you can of
I know
like
it's
on
gonna
the
suck
street.
because what's the name didn't have that.
Ooh,
Or what is that? That book that we don't like to talk about, TOBG, had all those narrators, and it wasn't even that complicated.
not in the grand scheme of things,
It
no,
was.
but in the midst of it, I was like, what is going
Why
on?
are there
Even with
so
all the
many
narrators.
narrators? Right? Yeah.
So, child, listen, it's an
The one that I'm
investment
talking
either
about,
way.
the
Yeah.
author of the Charlie Freeman book, Vina. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh,
Okay, we shall see. We should definitely see.
oh, okay. Maybe there's
I
some
can't
tea to
remember
be
why.
had.
I can't remember right off the top of my head why she said she wanted me to read it, but I felt like
Okay.
it was one of those you should read this moments. I was like,
Okay.
okay, cool.
He wrote
Okay,
Friday.
that's why that name sounded familiar. Friday Black, because I have Friday Black.
Mm, okay. So you're reading that by this author guy.
Yeah, I'm reading that by no, it's a girl, Caitlin Eldridge. Yeah, Caitlin Green. I don't know how you say this woman name,
Greenwich. Greenwich.
but, but it's like green and then IDGE, like fridge at the end, Greenwich,
Oh,
right?
interesting.
Right?
Oh. What's the name of the book?
We Love You, Charlie Freeman.
Oh, okay. All right, Charlie. Um, well, I am reading The Trial by Robert Whitlow. It is a Christian law drama.
I feel like
Interesting.
I have a few like I was like, as soon as you said the name, I was like, why do I feel like I have a few books of that on my shelf?
Hmm.
I feel like I
It's
probably got a
giving
few.
very Piercing the Darkness.
Okay, that would be exact. Yep, yeah, yeah. So him, Ted Decker, and
Yeah,
Brady are all
yeah,
okay. That would be what
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Why does that
So
name
he's a
sound?
Peretti contemporary. But anyway, dropped my phone, so it's time to get started. I'm reading that. I have 3 more hours left. It's good. It's interesting. Um, yeah, let's get into our first sprint. 15 minutes after the hour, well, 23 minutes after the hour, but 15 minutes after the sprint, here we go. We back with Otis. We missed him last week, but we're back now. In 3, 2, 1, y'all turn them pages. Alrighty. That was our first sprint. How did y'all do? I'm on chapter 5. There's not a lot of chapters in this book, or maybe it's just the way the audiobook is set up, but there's not a lot of like chapters. There's 8 in this 6-hour book. So, yeah, each chapter is basically like 45 minutes to an hour. But it's not long. Also, how do y'all feel about music in an audiobook? Like irrelevant music, not music that's like, oh, I was singing a song and then someone starts to hum, but like music
I
at the
think it
beginning
depends
and end
on
of a
the type of
chapter.
book. I think it depends on the type of book. Or you mean
Huh?
like you talking about like music to indicate that the chapter ended and a new chapter
Mm-hmm.
started? Honestly, like as a kid, I love that. Like, cause it let you know where you were. Cause like on books on tape, they did that all the time. Like for
You
books.
sound low for some reason. Oh, wait, hold on. I turned my laptop down. I don't know why I'm tripping. Go again.
I'm fixing my face. Sorry. Okay, so
I
I was
can't see you
saying,
anyway.
I still had to fix it because it had already the muscles had already done something else. I
Do
had to
y'all
fix
see
it.
what I have to deal with on a regular basis?
Y'all see what I got to deal with on a regular basis? We be dealing with each other. We be
It's
dealing
true.
with each other,
It's true.
girl. We be dealing with each other. I don't know why you said it
It's
like
true.
that. We truly be dealing with each other. Okay, so hold on. Dang it, what I'm about to say, you messed me up. Okay,
If only I could help
this is
you.
why she get on my nerves, y'all. Okay, I let you. Oh, what I was saying was that's how books on tape were when we were kids. Like there would be a sound to let you know that the chapter ended, and then like a sound to let you know. Like so, it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily bother me. I thought at first before you explained it that you just meant music, and I was
Uh,
gonna say that it depends on if it's a production because the American Gods audio book there's like music throughout it on like I think it's the anniversary edition, but it's also a full on production because it has like the people from the show also doing the voices for American Gods on that
I've
audio
never
book.
seen that show.
I want to watch the show. I haven't seen it either. I thought I wasn't gonna watch it once they canceled it because what's the name wasn't on it no more. I think it's Orlando Jones. I feel like is his name. Was why I wasn't gonna watch it anymore. But someone said I should still watch it to watch like his performance and whatnot. Like it's really good. And I like the Nazi Boys. The Nazi Boys is
Oh,
really good.
by Neil Gaiman.
But no game, yeah.
All right. Well, it's on script, and the anniversary edition
And
is
I
on
started the
script.
book, and I wasn't disliking the
20
audio.
hours.
Oh yeah, because it's a full production. It's a full production. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good.
All right. I'm hitting download. Um, Interesting. What I mean is like, sure, right? Like I remember now that you mention it on tape, it being like end of disc one or whatever. But at the end of the chapters in the trial, first of all, the music starts mad early. It's not like end of the chapter. Chapter 2. It's like they're still talking and then the music starts and then grows as they're still talking and then it ends and then music and then chapter 2. And I'm just like I thought at first when I was first listening to it, I literally was like, "Where is that coming from? Is Sister Oliver playing music or something?" And I was just very confuzzled. I figured it out when it started growing beside my head, but I was just like, I don't feel like that was strictly necessary, nor supremely edifying. I don't need it. Nothing in this book has anything to do with music. And I'm not mad at some music. I like a little gentle production of audiobooks. It's it's the length of the music and just the like, I don't know, that wasn't the right song. I don't know. I don't know. I don't need it. for the trial. Now, I downloaded The American Gods. I am interested to see what full production means to them, but I'm not in need of music for the trial. Certainly not music that begins and goes on for that long. I can leave it. It's a little jarring. It has. It has transformed since those books on tape. It's different. We had some people come in during the sprint.
Why are you so invested with kicking these pillows off this couch?
Good morning, afternoon, evening. I'm reading Elemental Inferno by AJ Locke. I didn't finish reading her first book. What is it? Magic Dark, Magic Divine. I have yet to finish reading that. I don't know. Maybe I think right around the time Magic Dark, Magic Divine came out, slash right around the time that I actually started like trying to read it, is when I was like getting out of my fantasy mood. I need to go back and finish it because I think she's either an independent author or hybrid. So I definitely want to read and support. And I think I still like whatever I did to get it, I still have it. Like if I got it on script, I think it's well no, I think it was on script, I gave it back already. But I had it for a long time. I need to go back and finish that because the second one has already come out of Magic Dark Magic Divine. And I just never she's a necromancer in that one, right? Also, Shay, I put you on mute. I don't know if you knew that. I didn't know if you left yourself on unmuted on accident, but you were talking to the dog, so I was like, maybe she doesn't know. Um, Good morning, Mayama. You didn't miss much. What is the discussion? I mean, we just finished our first sprint, and then we were talking about music and audiobooks. Nothing much more than that. Um, Listening to Mama Day. Okay. I'm reading Chilling with Ghosts for review. It's out next week. It's chapter book field guide about ghosts for the MG crowd, written by a Black woman. Okay. Shay, did you start the book? She did. If you're talking about Caitlin
Yes,
Greenridge.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I did. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. As y'all know, Titan be losing his mind, so I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't think that I was muted, so my bad. I'll mute myself.
um,
He's doing very light skinned dog things right now. Is the truth, yeah.
we know
Every
how
day
cousin
for the
Titan
last
do. We
two
know
weeks,
how the nephew do.
y'all
He
know
need
he
a
got
little
y'all
extra
know he got a
attention.
dog couch, right? Like there's a dog couch that the dogs can get on because they can't get on my couch. Why every day
Hmm.
for 2 weeks this young man has knocked the pillows off this couch? He just gets on there and starts like maneuvering and flipping himself around and knocks all the pillows off the couch, and then just stares at me.
Off of his couch.
Off his couch, off his couch. He get on
Why
there
you
and knock
looking
them
at me,
all
Star?
off.
You could put it back up there. You got a mouth.
Man, the way I be like, you're not gonna fix it. You're not gonna fix it because they just gonna be
That's
on the
up to
floor.
you.
Like you don't like this wire poking into you. Why do you keep knocking these pillows on the floor, sir? Okay. And Cleo just be watching.
Listen, Cleo said, "Do you see what I see?"
You see
All
this? Do you
right.
see what he do it? Oh, clearly across the other side of the room, just watching.
Mm-mm. That was LeVar Burton. That's what LeVar Burton does with his short stories, maybe.
It's
It's a
also
full
like that
version.
for the world, the city we became, and the world we made.
I've yet to read The City We Became. I don't really have any plans to do it. I've heard it. I don't remember what I heard about, but I was like, this doesn't sound like my cup of tea. But
I don't know. It definitely sounds like something you. It sounds like along the lines of what you written because it's like a contemporary. It's a contemporary fantasy. It's the
Okay.
first one she wrote that's set in the real world, and it's like 5 POVs.
Okay.
With one narrator. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
With
ahead.
one narrative, why are you?
With
What does that
one
have to do with
narrator.
me?
Are you not a self-publishing author? Gonna be a self-publishing author that's gonna have audiobooks with people with
Yes.
multiple POVs. Okay, so
Yes.
I was just saying. for someone who's going to do that, it's a good book to read that stands in contemporary
First of all,
fantasy
take all of
with
that
the
stiffness
narrator.
out of your voice. I
I'm not even
don't
stiff. I'm what? See, I'm not gonna say hit
talk to
dog
me
holler
softly.
because I'm totally smiling right now. I ain't even got no face. I'm like, let me tell my friend why this might be a good book for her to check out. And there's an audiobook, and the audiobook is a full production.
Oh, okay.
See, you see how your face changed? You see, oh, this is how I have to deal with her. This is how I have to deal with her, yeah.
Make
This is how
your case.
yeah, this is how I have to deal with her.
Feels like she's saying I'm a responsible person who needs all the facts, which is just, I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not working on it. Okay. It's not my toxic trait. And even if it is, I'm still not working on it.
Okay. I love
Not
her.
working.
Yeah, I know. I love her. I do. I'm gonna go back to cooking my breakfast.
Mm, that's fine. We support you. Um, hey y'all, I'm at work and listening to The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. The Shadow of What Was Lost. How did we come up with these titles? Hey, Miss Maya. Good morning. The Chronicles of Narnia sounds amazing on audio. The Chronicles of Narnia is just amazing anyway. Britt is reading The Trial by Robert Whitlow. I think is his name. Yeah, by Robert Whitlow. I like the book. I like the book. It's a typical hard-headed, I don't need God protagonist. He's making his way to Jesus. Um, and that's fine. All of that is well and good. Um, but it's nothing to do with the book. It's the production. First of all, this narrator sounds like someone's grandpappy that got what's the word? Dentures, perhaps. I don't know. Something in his mouth is requiring him to salivate a lot, and I can just hear a lot of mouth sounds I don't need to know about. So I don't love the production of this audiobook. I'm not at this point, it's just part of my experience. And I'm like, okay, sure, some of the people that he's talking about are older. Actually, most of the people in this book are a little older. So it's not completely out of character for me to be getting all of this. But I'm also just like, Mr. Sir, do we need all of the mouth sound? Do we? And then the way there's places to be pausing to take a breath in the middle of a sentence, and I'm just like, you're interrupting my listening experience. Stop breathing like that. I don't know. Am I asking for too much to keep your mouth sounds to yourself and to breathe on a beat? Is it too much? Is it too much? I don't think so. Anyway, that's what I'm going through, y'all. That's what I'm going through. I feel like whenever there's two dogs, there's one starting stuff and one watching. That's how it goes. That is really how it goes. There's always one that's like, I'm going to be a banana tree. And the other one is like, I'm just going to seek the shade of your shenanigans and take joy in not being the one to get disciplined 5 times a day. I enjoyed the school, became I'm maybe biased because I'm from New York. Maybe, and I could be biased because I'm not from New York and have no love for the city. I don't. Hi, I'm Britt. I don't care for New York City. That's me. I also don't care for the virulent loyalism that New Yorkers have to New York and the way they just lift their leg on every other place in the world that's not New York. Get over yourself. But anyway, y'all have your little city. That's fine with your boroughs. That's fine. That's fine. Sure. Absolutely stop breathing like that. I was going down the street. I was going down the street. Then you can breathe. Finish my sentence first. Pay me what you owe. And then take a breath. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I really don't. I really don't. Especially since this is your job. I'm pretty sure they taught you how to do that. How to like breathe at the end of a phrase and take enough breath to get to the end of your phrase. That's acting 101. I just, anyway. Happy Friday, Deidre. Breathe on the 2 and the 4. Precisely. Precisely. Deidre's here. Did you? Okay, so tell me why. Tell
I
me why
did
you did.
the audiobook. I couldn't take the audiobook the first time. I had to read it
Why?
physically because it's so much going on, and I wasn't ready for because like I said, it is a full production. So I wasn't ready for it, and how it's like very overpowering to the story if you're not prepared for it. But physically
Mm,
reading it, I loved it. Like I gave it a higher rating once I could like read it myself. But
now I'm
for the audio,
curious.
it's just a lot.
Is it
Yes.
like music or something?
Huh?
Is it music?
It's not just music, like it's sound effects, it's everything. Like I said, it's
Mm,
a full production. Like it's
I love
giving
it.
where things are supposed to be like echoed because they're in a chamber, they're echoed when things are like it's very much a production. So if you're not prepared for it, it can
Okay,
definitely
NK.
take you out of it.
She said, if you want drama, I'll
Yeah,
bring
no,
you the
it,
drama.
it's a good production, but it's also like if you're not prepared for it, it can take
Yeah.
away from the reading experience. Because like
Hmm.
physically, great, fantastic. But she also did, yeah, they did the Left Behind Kids series exactly like that, Maya, exactly like that,
Make you want that comments. Um, the
exactly.
audiobook when good president became da 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 da. No. Thank you. First of all, let's just have that said. Mouth sounds, stop it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
the fact that ASMR is a
got
thing
it.
has always been weird to me. Like people that like to hear people's mouths, and it's been crazy
But
to
that's
me.
not all ASMR is, right? It's other kinds of sounds too, right? Like it could be the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm specifically talking about like the mouth ASMR,
oh,
like the ones that like people watch to hear people like chewing gum or da da da. Like that's crazy to me. That's I
yeah.
have nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't need it. I
I ain't
really
gonna hold
don't.
you, mama. New York scared me. Y'all
I've
scary.
been to
Yeah,
New
y'all.
York
I'd be like,
twice.
no, and I'm used to being in a state where I can carry a gun, and that's not how New York City works. So I'd be like, I just be out there with no protection. Yeah,
You got you
like it.
got the blood of
I don't
Jesus.
like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Listen, the
I'd
blood
be
of
like, come
Jesus.
visit New York. I'll be watching videos on YouTube. Like, I'm not visiting New York. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I
Listen,
got it.
there's every kind of sound you can think of, a full production, and can yeah.
Yeah. Great story. Like the
Yeah.
story, I'm so glad that I was like, well, obviously, I knew I was going. I bought the book before I knew I was going to read it, but I knew
I
I
mean,
was
I
going to.
think NK is one of your insta buys. I think we can say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. NK Elizabeth Acevedo, instant buys. If
Yeah.
Frank Brady decides he want to come out with a book tomorrow, instant buy. Like it's gonna happen.
Who?
Frank Brady. But
Absolutely, of course.
but um, I'm glad that I bought the physical copy. Also, I'm glad I bought the physical copy because it's like stuff on the cover. Like it's like an interactive cover.
Is it?
Like there's videos. Like you put your phone camera over different parts of the book, and you can watch videos, and
What?
she'll like talk to you and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
NK will?
Yeah, like there's like video clips like attached to the
In the
cover.
book.
Yes. You take your phone and you take pictures of it. And like there's different points on the book where you can take a picture of and it'll activate a video where like she's talking about the book or talking about the story or whatever. Yeah.
Hold on, why are you acting exasperated with me like I just said
Because
this? When
I
what?
told we did talk about this before. You just remembering.
I have
I'm not
no
trying to sound
recollection of this
exasperated.
whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have no recollection of this, and you acting like it's just regular for books to be out here producing videos on command. Like,
No, no,
hey,
no. I
book.
don't think it's regular. I was just saying it's cool. That's how I know I mentioned it before. Like
I have no
we talked.
recollection of this. Maybe you were talking to Deidre.
No, because Deidre was the one trying to get me to make sure that I finished it and that I was reading the second book because she really liked it. So no one talking to Deidre because she already knew. I
Mm-mm-mm.
feel like if she didn't know, I might have told her. Honestly,
Exactly. You might have told her, not me though.
no. But I mean, like, hey, go look at your book and take a picture of it, like thing. But no, I know that I mentioned it to you because I feel like we talked about it in a live. I just like how she just be doing stuff that ain't nobody doing, and it took too long for her to get recognized.
That's crazy. How do you even do that? Well, I
I
guess
mean,
with
it's not
QR
hard. It's like
codes,
the QR code on the book.
I need to see this. But interesting. Interesting. Okay, okay, go off. I don't know that I would even want to do all of that. But if at any point I did, it would definitely be like on book 10 because that sounds like a
I mean,
lot
I feel like that
of
was her
work.
book.
Hmm.
I feel like that was her book 10.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
she been through it. She knows like that's already done. I just cannot imagine. I would need like three assistants, a production manager. Like I would need a full on team, and all I'm doing is coming in to do my little thing because
Oh, for
oh,
sure.
that sounds like a crap ton. And like a lot for the reader. But I feel like if it's a story where there's a lot to say and there's like the setting of the story is important to it, then sure, it's worth like getting immersive so that readers who want to can go as far as they want to, and readers who don't, hey, just read the book, listen to the book, and go about your business.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what
I feel like I
people
could
do.
do.
I have the multiple formats.
Yeah, I feel like I would want to do that with Eliza. Would I know? Because I won't be there by that time. But
But definitely
Eliza,
by First Fantasy.
huh?
Definitely by First Fantasy. That would be an awesome immersive story.
By
Awesome. Like
first
everything
fantasy?
that's happening, everything that's going on in that story, that would make it such a more like enriching audiobook experience. There's so much going, like to hear that action would be
Wait,
awesome.
wait, wait, wait. Oh, see, sure. But to do a full production, right? Not to do the the QR code.
Yeah, but I mean, even with the QR code, like it's literally, it's a QR code in a video of her talking about this is the book, and I'm glad you're watching it, and da 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 da. Like it's
Oh,
literally
it's a
like just a
single
picture
QR
on the
code.
cover. Yeah, that's why I said you take a picture with your phone, and your phone activates it. Like you bring your phone camera over the cover of the book, and it activates different parts of it. Like the cover will start moving, like the arms and the designs on the cover shift a little bit, and then, like I said, it activates a video for you to watch.
Interesting. I can't really picture what you're saying, but and maybe that's
I'll
why I'm
record.
not
I got a video recorded of it. I'll send it to you.
okay, because I can't really picture what you're saying. Because in my mind, when you said it, it was like there are lots of QR codes over the cover of it and putting different parts of it. We'll talk about different parts of New York or something. And I was like, "Shy, sounds like so much labor."
Oh yeah, no. There's different things on the book cover that are activated when your camera on it. Like it moves. The
Okay,
cover, like the design moves on the cover. And
got
then there
it.
is a QR code, like picture portion of the book that if your camera goes over it, it activates a link that takes you to like a video of N.K. Jemisin talking.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear.
And I'm a visual
Gotcha.
learner for stuff like that. If it's something that I'm not familiar with and have never seen before, I have to have some sort of visual context to understand it. But yeah, anyway. So okay, yeah, I could definitely see a full production for that. I mean, I would see a full production for any of my books at that point. That just depends on like who you're using to produce the audio and just tell them I want a full production. You got the coinage. That doesn't really
Right.
require anything more of you. Um, so yeah, no, I would want mo I can't think of any book that I'm working on that I wouldn't want to have a full production. Now I don't know that about like the echo chamber and that kind of thing. Like I don't know that I would need that, but for Eliza, absolutely, she deserves an echo chamber. She got an echo chamber, um, and for sure for hashtag first fantasy, I can absolutely. I think that it would be to Deidre's point though. That's kind of risky. It can be disorienting, and depending on what scene, I feel like I'll just have to have a disclaimer like, "You, hi, this is Brittany True. Thank you so much for picking up this book. Da, 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 da. This is a full production audiobook. You are going to hear sounds beyond like character dialogue. Please make sure that you're in an environment where it is safe and appropriate for you to hear horns blaring, for instance, sounds of traffic. Like if you're driving, skip chapter 10. Like, I don't know, like something like that, where I'm like, I'm not about to be liable for anyone being like, I didn't know that was a real horn honking because I was living this type of thing. Like I don't want to. I'm not getting that liability. But yeah, some books really, really benefit, and then others not so much. The city is not all that to be so stuck up, and I'm born and raised here. I'm trying to tell you. That's what I heard also, Mayima. That's why I was just like, sounds like a toss up.
So here's the
Um,
thing is, I think that I haven't met anyone that didn't like it for a reason outside of one, the audio book, or because they're not a fan of contemporary fantasy. Like they didn't want her to be in the real world. Like I
I don't know
haven't
if
heard
I'm a fan of
critiques
contemporary
about this
fantasy.
story. You said what?
I don't know if I'm a fan of contemporary fantasy. I don't remember
Even though
the
that's
last
what
one
you
I
writing?
read.
Even though that's what you writing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the last time, and I could respond to you, but it would be a spoiler, so I'll just tell you why later. It's not the same to me though. I don't remember the last contemporary fantasy that I read that I one finished and that two didn't feel like a chore. And I'm really trying to think. I mean, I also haven't read fantasy in a little bit because I've been
Blood
on
like
a
magic. Yeah, I
Love
know.
Like Magic, The Undead Truth of Us. That was easy. We're done.
Right.
But nothing
I'm
since
I
then.
know. Like I there it is. I mean, that's not hard.
That's just two though. And I had
You
other
didn't
motivation to read
struggle
those
through.
books.
You didn't struggle through the first whatchamacallit book, the first JL book. The second one, sure, but the first one you didn't.
Well, that's also like a portal.
It was
Like that's
exciting.
a like like
It's
there's
still a
she's
contemporary fantasy. It's still set in the real world. Like that's the exact same thing that's happening in City We Became. It's a portal fantasy. Like it's everything is set in
oh
New York. That's what I'm saying. Those are contemporary fantasies. Like they're
she
set in
goes
the
to a
real.
different world
In what?
and the city we became.
Not 100%. Like again, there's five main characters. So there's like the world, and then there's like a secondary world that they can see that regular people can't see.
Mm, maybe I'll give it a look. I like fantasy like what's her name? Cassandra Clare, the Mortal Instruments series. When I was a kid, I used to be able to read Harry Potter and Mortal Instruments with equal fervor, but now I'm less likely to read a fantasy where there isn't some second word. Like if all of it or 95% of it is in our world, I'm just like, even if they do have some second sight to see other things, I'm just not as into it, I guess. But to your point, Shay, I need to be because definitely I do have, I do have,
Right. That's always like that's so crazy because that's literally all you write. It's insane. That is insane. But it's cool. I
look,
understand.
so here's the thing. To me, even when we're in this world, I'm always writing towards another one. That's the difference. So that's the difference to me. When I'm a reader, I don't know where the other world is or how long it's going to take us to get there. So I'm always like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? With my stuff, I know how far away we are from the destination. When I'm reading it, I'm like, when are we going to get to the ogres? Okay, when are we going to get to the portal? Where are we going? That's why I figured it out. Um, Okay, wait, I actually would love Black Epic Fantasy Rex if y'all have any, because I'm struggling through Priory of the Orange Tree, and I don't know if the issue is fantasy itself or if it's just white folk. Um, it could be either. I can't I can't discern that for you. Um, what kind of epic Black fantasy? Okay, so The Rage of Dragons
I'm
by
not saying
Evan
Evan
Winters.
Winters is the only one I know people to name. He's the only other one I know is this black man named Demetrius Jackson, and he was like a self-published author. He's a Wattpad author that like started his story on Wattpad and won so many awards that Wattpad published it for him. And he
Ooh.
has a series, and I've met him. I haven't finished it, but because I wasn't reading fantasy, like I bought it to
Uh-huh.
support the black man, but fantasy wasn't really a thing for me. So I plan to read it, and I plan to read it this year. But high fantasy is just never. It's just N.K. Jemisin is the first. N.K. Jemisin is the
Yeah,
first, and that's
yeah.
again why I think so many people had such a hard time with the city we became. It's the first time that, in at least in her novels, that they were set in the real world. So
Hmm.
you couldn't act like you didn't know what was going on. Like you can act like you reading the Broken Earth trilogy and don't know we talking about black people. You can't ignore that in
Yeah.
the city we became. And it's very much like so much of the series changed that she wrote it, and so much of it would seem like prophetical to what actually happened with Trump and what was going on. So that's part of the reason why I went
Oh,
from 3 books to 2, because so much stuff was like too aligned with what actually happened that it was gonna conflict too much. So they ended up making it 2 books instead of 3. So I think that's another reason why people struggle with it. Is because
um,
you couldn't
too real,
suspend
too true to
disbelief.
life.
Right.
I get
You couldn't
that.
be like,
That's hard.
this is an escape.
There's an interesting essay. What is his name? Lee something. I'll find it. Dang, what is it? It's called. Whoo, goodness. Now I'm be mad at myself. Revolution in the Literary Aisle of the Supermarket or something like that. Oh, mercy. Hold on. I'll tell y'all. But essentially, it's an article saying, what are you? No, I wasn't looking for that. It's an essay essentially saying like people read fantasy to escape, but it's not like fantasy, the genre is not truly escapist.
At
Like
all.
you are moving
Like
to a different
honestly, the
place,
only
but
one that's
it's
escapist to me is romance.
you're mhm. You're moving to a different place, but a lot of the stuff that you're seeing is a metaphor for what you're escaping from. Like it's not that there is no race shows up differently, difference shows up differently, gender, sexuality just move differently, and are different kinds of currency, get different kinds of like costuming, and sometimes different kinds of reception. But even if so much of the reception is different, it's still a commentary on the reception that they get in our world. So yeah, I when people say like, "Oh, fantasy is an escape," I'm just like, either you're not paying attention or you're truly just you want it so much that you're ignoring the fact that it's actually still dealing with real stuff. I can't think of one fantasy that I have read where there is zero real stuff going on, because if nothing else, even if the world is like far and away a complete digression, the themes of it are still real because there are still humans there. So I'm just like, y'all gotta get out of here. Even the aliens be having human emotions. um do 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 I love a good urban fantasy. Sometimes it hits harder for me than secondary world set epic fantasies. That too. I'm the opposite. I struggle with high fantasy so much, so I only write contemporary and urban fantasy. High fantasy can be difficult, and I struggled. I don't know that I write high fantasy though. Yeah, I don't think
No, you
I don't
don't.
write high fantasy.
You don't.
Okay, I was
Not
like,
anything I've read
Shay
is
would know
high
if I'm
fantasy.
lying. So
Nothing I've read is high fantasy. So if you got something I haven't read, then maybe. But everything I've read, no.
no, nope. You've read all the finished works, and nothing in progress is high fantasy. Nothing in progress is fantasy at all, actually. Um, yeah. Mm-mm. I don't really do high fantasy. I love reading it. Like Evan Winters, serve us, give us more. We're
The
hungry,
Inheritance
please.
trilogy is the only high fantasy I've read.
And I loved it. So like
Yeah.
I love reading it. I mean, it's so like high fantasy is an audiobook experience to me that always feels immersive, no matter the level of production, just because the story is immersive. Like I don't need extra sounds to see Sia. I see him. Me and him are right here.
Mm.
So I don't really need any extra production because the story is so much already like a tapestry being woven around you.
Mhm.
Um, and I just feel like that's a lot of pressure. I don't to be creating entire worlds like that. And it's not that it doesn't happen in like I mean, for me, like I do have second world fantasies. So I do end up needing to create some form of world rule and world order. But I usually, am I spoiling anything? No. I usually split my characters between this world and the next so that I don't have to have as much of a fully formed world immediately. Now, eventually, I may move us like fully into that, but just like in my own timeline of writing, rarely in this stage of my writing and book one will characters fully and only be in a second world. That will happen in book two or three when I've had more time to decide like what that world needs to be functional. But yeah, no, high fantasy I find intimidating to write, but I love to read it. I love to read it. Hello, Bird Inferno. Welcome. Do, 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 ooh. Do, 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 do. Which, why do you think that is? Maybe it's because they've done so much work on the high fantasy that they just don't want it to go to waste. They want you to
That's
see
because it
this
is slower.
high fantasy.
Yeah, high fantasies are usually slower because they're trying to put you in the world. They're trying to
Yeah,
paint
that's
the
what I'm
picture
saying.
of the world. You don't have to do that with contemporaries.
Yeah, because we already know what a stoplight is. The
We
sky is
already know
blue.
what
There's
it's
one
like.
sun.
We know
There's
what
one
it's like.
moon.
Usually, you're using real places or you're referencing real places to give you a picture
Hmm.
of what the place looks like. So
Right.
yeah, and not for nothing. Usually in high fantasies, you have way more that you're trying to show. Like you're trying
Yeah.
to show like government, you're trying to
Yeah.
show
Exactly.
religious, you're trying to show all this. Usually in contemporary fantasies, you're really more so focusing on a character
The
and what
plot.
they're going through and doing with. And in high fantasies, you're focusing on the world along with the story.
Exactly.
So,
Yep. That's what I think too. And social butterfly. Hello, just getting here. Reading Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane. Okay.
is
Absolutely.
that a thriller? It sounds like it might be. Also, my breakfast is almost done finally. Yay.
Wow. What are you making? It's been a
Well,
fortnight.
you blessed child of the king. I stopped to have a conversation because I couldn't hear you when I like stepped away to scramble my eggs and stuff. I'm just having shrimp and eggs. You blessed child of the Lord on
I
high.
like that one.
Because
I enjoyed that. Um,
I had to catch myself because I almost said something else and I was like, no. Blessed child of the king. Bless
amen.
it.
Call me a child of God. Yes. So it was published in Time magazine in 2012. And it's Lev Grossman. And the article is called Literary Revolution in the Supermarket Aisle. Genre fiction is disruptive technology. And yeah, so it wasn't talking only about fantasy and exclusively at all, but like talking about the question of things being escapist and how actually even though there is the presumption of escape, you end up wrestling with the same things just in a different setting. Do 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 do. Okay. Oh, delicious. My was like, what's DM? All right. Well, it's 11:30. We didn't talk for 1 hour before the first one, but we surely did that in between. Let's try to get one more sprint in, and then we'll do some quick outros, and the lesson will be yours. Um, we gonna thug this out. Shay, come back to the computer.
I'm here.
You see all this bass she's had in her voice today? Do y'all see that? It's been 3 times I have to tell her to talk to me softly.
Really? Really? Has it? I feel like like this is the first time you said "talk to me softly." The whole
I
time.
definitely said when you was talking about the QR code on the book cover, and you
You
were
said,
like,
"Why
yeah,
do I sound exasperated?"
and I was like,
But that wasn't "talk to me softly."
that is what I said. You just didn't hear me because you were explaining how you were talking solid because you be talking over me. That's why you didn't hear.
I apologize. I wasn't meaning to. I apologize.
Listen, if you can't have honest conversations with your friends, they're not really friends you're gonna keep. That's the truth. Um, that's the truth. My daughter loves high fantasy and she's trying to put some ideas together for a book. She's only 15, but I think she can really do it. Absolutely. Absolutely, she can do it. I started writing first fantasy when I was 16 years old, and now here I am at the ripe old age of 27 and 3 years away from publishing it. Dreams do come true. Public endorsement. Anyway, all right, let's get this sprint started. And 3, 2, 1. Y'all turn them pages. All right, y'all. It's been lovely. It's been 2 hours and it's 12:05. So I'm also starting to get congested because I'm better, but I find that like the longer I talk, the like congestion starts to come back. So I'm gonna wrap this up. If you want to tell how you did this sprint, the floor is open. I am on chapter 6 of the trial, and oh mercy, the witness that he thought was gonna be like, absolutely, see, reasonable doubt, da 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 da. The prosecutor just completely deboned that man and made him seem so unreliable. Which, objectively, in the full scheme of his life, he is. He is. He's on hard times and he's an alcoholic. He's only been dry for as long as the lawyer has reached out to him and asked him to testify, a week and a half. And he wrote 137 bad checks. So, and then on the stand, when the prosecutor asked him, "Are you an alcoholic?" he was like, "I don't know what you mean." You don't know what an alcoholic is. And then said, like, where are you in your life right now? He was like, well, I'm getting help for my drinking problem. I go to like group therapy. And he was like, so have you admitted to these people in this group session that you are an alcoholic? Knowing ding dang well, if you're talking about AA, you have to say, hi, my name is, I'm an alcoholic. And so he said, yes. So you do know what an alcoholic is. You are an alcoholic. When I asked you that question, you evaded. You effectively lied. Okay. So I was like, dang, like, why couldn't you just answer the question? Are you an alcoholic? I'm in recovery. I have just started on recovery. I'm new in recovery, but I'm in recovery for alcoholism. I now want to step forward and tell the truth, whatever, whatever, whatever. And so he's the prosecutor by asking these like seemingly innocuous questions that actually would have been had the man told the truth. Um, went about basically showing the jury like this man is a capital L liar, and just because he seems to be telling a truth now doesn't mean that. Hold on, what is this sound? Y'all, I am such a millennial. There's a landline in this house, a landline with an answering machine. I was like, what in the world is that? Anyway, um, so the guy went about essentially like gutting him. Um, and he was looking at the defender, the protagonist, um, like, can you make him stop? And he was like, no, I can't. He's asking you valid questions. You're an alcoholic and a liar. I don't know what you want from me. So that's where the chapter ended. And it was basically like, by the end of this, you're definitely not the ace in the hole witness I thought you were going to be, because this man asked all the right questions and you answered them all exactly the wrong way to discredit yourself. Because had you just stood in it and said, yes, I'm a recovering alcoholic. Yes, this recovery is a week and a half old, but I'm in a halfway house. I am in group therapy sessions. I want to turn my life around. One of the things that I'm doing to turn my life around is to tell the truth about what happened with Pete all those years ago. He did not drug and roofie those girls. It was Buster. I knew that Buster was going to do it. I didn't participate. I thought that he was joking. Then he actually did it, and I just went along with it. I didn't touch anyone. I told him to drop me off at the next stop, and he did. And the next morning, when Buster said it's about to hit the fan, it's either you and me or Pete, I chose Buster and myself. I have felt bad about it for the past 5 years. I'm coming clean because I'm in recovery. Da 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 blah blah blah. Just say that. Just say that. But instead, he got caught up on the first question, which is, "Are you an alcoholic?" Yes, honey, you are. You are. Or just say, "No, I'm in recovery," whatever. But like, don't pretend like you don't know what words mean, which is what he did, and then we ended up where we ended up. So, anyway, I'm enjoying the book. Um, I am really interested to hear what actually happened because I am fully convinced that the guy he's defending is innocent. But there were drugs in his client's system also, but his client doesn't take drugs. And so there were like roofies in his girlfriend's system. The girlfriend's one who died. She was strangled and then they got into a car accident, but the autopsy revealed that she didn't die from the car accident. She died from asphyxiation. And so now he is on trial for her murder. And because they're saying that even though that they were on a date, at some point she stopped wanting to be on the date. So anytime that he was with her after that qualifies as kidnapping, which is an aggravating variable, and aggravating variables are cause for capital punishment. And so which I'm just like, you haven't proved, like, at what point are you saying she didn't want to be on the date? How are you proving that? You're going to ask her? Are you going to come be among us? What point did you want to go home? Like, you didn't, because she had an answering machine. She called her parents and left them a message saying, "Pete and I are stuck in traffic on our way back from," they had gone to some out of town restaurant. On our way back from Chattanooga somewhere. There's a car accident on the road. So there's traffic. So we'll be late. So I'm just like, the accident where you found her body was on the way home. So she left a voicemail while she was on the way home. You found her in the car on the way home. Where's the kidnapping? It seems like on the way home, she still wanted to be with him. And the next thing you knew, she was dead. Where is the kidnapping? I don't know. So, but they'll litigate that if he turns up guilty, and they then will start arguing about whether he deserves life in prison, or capital punishment. But at any point, that's what's on the table for him. So, but I am no longer, I mean, I never was really convinced that he did it, because there were roofies in her system, but there were roofies in his system too, like GHB. So how would he strangle her if, how could he be the one who strangled her if he was also high off his rocker, you know? So I'm very interested to see who the actual perpetrator is, because whoever it is, like, not that they did a great job or anything, but it's not going poorly for them right now. So I want to see who it is. And they're making it seem like it could be her uncle, who has psychological issues and has like therapists and medication. So I'm just like, what's the tea on Uncle Spencer? And where is Uncle Spencer? Like, why isn't he here? So I don't know. I'm interested in the result. So anyway, that's where I am. I'll probably be done with it by next week, and if I remember, I'll tell y'all what happened. But at any rate, I don't see any comments of y'all telling me how y'all's read went. So I'm gonna assume that it went well, or that y'all are in the middle of multitasking for work. If that's the case, thank you for joining us. Shay, do you want to do your outro?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad coming back took me a minute. Um, I'm Shay. My channel is Shay with the hobbies. I be writing, I be reading, I be creating. I be trying to act like I know what I'm doing on this internet thing. And sometimes I be doing stuff. And if you catch me, you'll see it. You'll probably catch me more on Instagram, so you just follow me on Instagram. Videos are coming. Eventually, I say that every week, but eventually they'll be there.
There you go. So her Instagram is in the description box, as is mine. So if you're interested, go check that out. My Twitter is also in the Instagram, in the
You
description
also
box
need
below. But
you
huh?
need to add the one anime black girls in the description box too.
Thank you. Two black girls anime. Two black anime girls. Yeah.
Two black
If
anime
you
black. Yeah, my
yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. If y'all don't follow me on my new Instagram channel, Two Black Anime Girls, where I and another of my critique partners, um, Rose, where we have started all kinds of shenanigans over there. If y'all don't follow me over there, you're missing out. And you will miss out when I start all kind of fun projects like podcasting, like a Patreon. Don't at me. Have I been trying to start author Patreon? However, no. But have I been talking about it? Yes. Have I started an author Patreon? No. Will I be? Probably not. But am I having a Patreon to talk about anime and fan fiction? Of course I am. These are my priorities. Please. Please. So, if you have not already, please go follow me on Two Black Anime Girls. That's number two, BLK, anime, ANIME, girls. It is what it sounds like. All right. Um, y'all have a wonderful week. Absolutely. Have a great weekend. Y'all drink plenty of water and mind your business. Bye.